good to be back with an actual pause button. It's good to be back in my dorm, and it's good to be back with a win! Bruins fans, it is time to hug it out, because that is a 4-3 victory in overtime against the Dallas Stars. Welcome back down into the den, everybody. We got no questions today, so we're just gonna go right into the into the actual analysis. It's more so, but a little bit of background about this game. This was the celebration ceremony for Brad Marchand hitting 1,000 games in the NHL as a Boston Bruin, and during it we had a whole lot of people, mainly former teammates such as Gregory Campbell, Tuukka Rask, Torrey Krug, even Tyler Seguin, who, by the way, it's so funny. It's so fun knowing that Tyler Seguin was here for Brad Marchand's 1,000th game ceremony. They must have exchanged some. They must have had a hell of a time before, during, and after the game. I can imagine congratulations was given from Segi to Marchand, which, by the way, Tyler Seguin, of all people, saying Brad Marchand is one of the best looking players in the league is amazing. I love Tyler Seguin. Look, he might have ran himself out of here, but at the same time, I cannot deny the love I have in my heart for Tyler, only steers and queers in Texas, and I'm not a cow, Seguin. I cannot deny that love I have for him in my heart. But additionally, this is the final game in the Bruins homestand, in the Bruins 7-game homestand, in which we come out of it 2-3-2. Not great. Not great. Let's be honest, not great. And let's be honest, this game wasn't that great. In all honesty, this game kind of sucked for the Bruins. When most of our production comes from our bottom six, it's amazing. It's great. It's great in one way that a lot of our production is coming from the bottom six. But at the same time, you end up asking, why are we paying this much money to be let down by our top six? And we get that question really, really early on. And the Bruins start out a little bit behind the 8 ball. They end up pretty much being behind the 8 ball the entire game. Dallas ends up out shooting the Bruins like 46 to 25, something disgusting like that. Dallas was without three key defensemen as well today. One of which being Yanni Hakanpää, who I'm always a little bit scared of. I forget who else Dallas was out today, but Ryan Suter had to play extra minutes today. Thomas Harley also had to play extra minutes. Although Thomas Harley playing extra minutes, he kind of deserves it because Thomas Harley is really, really good. Even on offense, they were shorthanded. Matt Duchene, who's had 22 goals, 33 assists in 55 games, for 55 points in as many games, he was out. He was out today. And yet the Bruins, with an almost completely healthy lineup, with an almost completely healthy lineup, anybody who was supposed to be in today was in, except for Lauko, who got replaced with the first game of Justin Brazeau's NHL career, and we will talk about how he played in a little bit. The Bruins by all means should have won this game handily, but they didn't. They didn't, and they allowed themselves to be outshot by 20. Anyway, where was I? The fourth line and where is our production on the top line? So the Bruins start out a little bit behind the 8 ball, but we end up getting a really good offensive zone shift. One that it ends up with the stick being knocked out of Jake Ottinger's hands and behind the net. And this leads to my main frustration right now. When we are given any sort of advantage, whether it's a man up or anything like that, the stick being knocked out Ottinger's hands. He is without one of his biggest assets as a goalie. And so what happens? The Bruins just completely give it away, and the puck goes all the way down the ice back to Swayman, which, by the way, an amazing game from Swayman. Two fantastic goal line stands to clean it up, but we'll also get into that. But again, we're given a clear advantage here, and we just piss it away. We just completely piss it away. That is until Anthony Richard forechecks it to open space, and who's there? Jesper Boqvist, to put the moves on Otter and to beat the defenseman, put the moves on Otter and put us up 1-0. And then we give the game up, and then we give the goal up. Puck battle against the end boards. Actually, not against the end boards, against the sideboards. It squirts out to Wyatt Johnston, who like haphazardly flips it into the net and past Swayman, and it's I think it gets deflected, but I'm not entirely sure, and I don't really care to check on this one. But this also leads to a big criticism I have right now. Coyle, I love you. Stop overcommitting on defense, because he goes right down to double team, and Wyatt Johnston is left wide ass open. And just before the period ends, not only does Matt Grzelcyk give the puck right to Ryan Suter for him to put a shot right on net. Great job, Grzelcyk. Whose side are you on? In his 1,000th in the game celebrating his 1,000th game, what would be more Marshy than Marshy getting a fighting major? And he I forget who he gets into a tilt with. It's Joel Hanley. Joel Hanley, who is 2 inches and 10 pounds on Marshy. Marshy is bending over backwards and then pulls forward and flips it over onto Hanley. Amazing job. They both get 5 for fighting on that one. Second period starts, and not Justin Brazeau. Ryan Suter doesn't really need the help of Matt Grzelcyk, but why does he get a Rope Hintz with another great face-off win? This is why we need Beecher back in the lineup. Suter just gets a wide ass open shot from the blue line and snipes it on Swayman. And I know there should be defensemen in front there. Swayman, that is a shot from the blue line. You should be able to have that. But don't get ahead of yourself, because less than a minute later, the Bruins get a really good offensive zone shift. I think by this point, Anthony Richard ends up taking a really big hit near the end of the first period, and he has to be helped down the tunnel. Well, a couple of his sticks go down with him, so we think that he's going for the rest of the game. Thank God he doesn't. But the Bruins get a really good offensive zone shift in on their fourth line, and Boqvist centers it to Justin Brazeau, who has Suter draped over him. But here's the thing. Brazeau, 6'5", 220. He should not be able to move as well as he does, but oh my God, he does, and it's amazing. It is amazing. You put a man that size, that weight in the slot to cause problems if he can move that fast. Yes. And to his credit, he did. He moved. And to his credit, he was pretty good this game. I think there was a few points where I wish he could have spent a little bit more time on defense. And I think that honestly, we have no better defensive forward in this organization right now than Johnny Beecher. Maybe Jake DeBrusk, maybe Charlie Coyle. I really don't think. I think at this point Beecher is at the very least top 3. But Brazeau with that shot in the slot, the 26-year-old in his first NHL game has his first NHL goal and his first NHL point. Great job for him. Let's see if he can keep it up. I don't want to put too much emphasis on him because again, first game. I understand if there are a few kinks that you need to work out there. We can also have the conversation about whether or not we should have brought Lysell up. But right now, let's get to the rest of the second period, where the Bruins get outshot 22-11, including a very, very scary hit. Jason, I don't want to say very, very scary because that just sounds like, I don't know, some Matt Johnson type stuff, but let's not get into that. Or rather Adam Johnson. Again, let's not get into that. The point is McAvoy going for the puck on the end boards. And it's Jason Robertson in routine hit. He let's just be real. This is a routine hit. This was a clean hit. It just went horribly. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And Robertson shoulder checks McAvoy into the boards. His head slams against the glass, and he is down on all fours. Thankfully, he comes back later in the game. Thankfully, for the rest of the second period, there isn't really much to be impressed by. Grzelcyk is still a little. This is still very much a not Matt Grzelcyk game. This is not a game that Matt Grzelcyk is commanding. Which, I mean, it's Matt Grzelcyk. Come on, we know what Matt Grzelcyk is. Cap casualty. He's going to be a casualty at the deadline. Third period. Third period. We get a pretty funny. Instance. The Stars is going right to goal. Swayman is laid out trying to save it, and he does. He saves it on the goal line. And whistles are blown. The puck squirts out. Wyatt Johnston still puts it in after the whistle. Well, Swayman is obviously a little bit unhappy. Where is everybody else? And this is the most frustrating thing about the Bruins. You have Mikey Eismont diving falling onto Allmark and giving him a little bit of face wash. Nobody stands up for Allmark. Swayman gets it's bum rushed by the Stars. Nobody stands up for him. You guys allowed 45 shots on him tonight. Where is the urgency? Where is the anger? Where is that sense of sticking up for your goalie? It needs to happen. And God knows, because God knows this defense right now is not in a position to really say that they're playing well enough to allow to keep the this defense is not playing well enough. Particularly, Derek Forbort.
Worthless NPCs are kind of like that one guy you know that just makes everything worse. Look, I'm sure you're a nice guy. You bought a nice Prius. Not gonna say go die, but fuck! Can you kindly take a week-long nap in the world of nothing? You are worthless!
That Wafflesman clip pretty well sums it up. Derek Forbort is a worthless NPC. In fact, in this game, he hinders us again. The Bruins have a really good, really good offensive zone shift that he just gives away. He gives it away right to Esa Lindell. He put the second game in a row where Derek Forbort just throws the puck to an opposing to the opposing team, and they score off of it. He's playing way too far up. And so it goes right to Lindell. Who's the only one back there? McAvoy. It's McAvoy who has to guard against three freaking players, and it's so frustrating. I want Derek Forbort off my team. Get him off my team right now. Later on, we're into the Ford F-150 Final 5. Oh, the Ford F-150 Final 5. If Swayman gets pulled, and thankfully, our offense shows up. Our top line shows up. You know what part of our top line shows up? Pasta, some noodles. We finally get to eat some noodles today. Pasta breaking out of a little bit of a scoring slump, I think. Just McAvoy completely looking off of everyone, and gets the puck to Pasternak, and you know where he is. You know where he is. You know where that shot's coming from. Otter cannot get back to the right post in time, and this is going into overtime. This is going into overtime, baby. Overtime was really annoying. I'm not gonna lie, and it's mostly just because everybody just held the puck in their own zone, and that was annoying to say the least. Yes. Because honestly, just let's be real. The NHL needs to revamp its overtime rules in the regular season, particularly since it is if it's just going to be a 5 minute 3-on-3. You got to have some sort of like built-in protection from this game, from the game just bleeding out into a shootout. Because no one likes a shootout. There is not a single person who likes a shootout, especially not one that goes for 9 goddamn innings. And so, why not make it so that you have to stay on the offensive zone the entire time? When you have the puck, unless it gets taken away from you, you have to go past the midline. You have to go past the midline. And if it gets cleared out, that's the only time you can go back into the offensive zone, into your zone. You can only go into your zone if you can only go into your zone if the other team touches the puck first. And I really think that would help. I really think that would help. Because nobody does anything in this overtime. Not a single person. And so we go to a shootout. And Jason Robertson just puts the moves on Swayman. And then for 8 innings, nobody does anything. Pasternak without a doubt the most frustrating shootout attempt he's done this season. like we know what he was trying to do. We know that he was trying to drag it to the far side and chip it in past Ottinger. But Ottinger is just way too good. Ottinger is just way too good. He's gonna win a Vezina. He's gonna win a Vezina at some point. But what's kind of frustrating is that throughout the entire time, the Bruins do not utilize Pavel Zacha. We get Kevin Shattenkirk on the. Taking a shootout attempt before we get Pavel Zacha. We get Jesper Boqvist taking a shootout attempt before Pavel Zacha. Brad Marchand and thankfully does a wrist shot and scores on an Ottinger to make sure that we don't this goes somewhere. And then it's just a slog for the next like 5 minutes trying to make sure. Oh, let's not have this go in. Let's not have this go in. And until Charlie McAvoy with the backhand. Charlie McAvoy. Rather amazing. I'm so happy that we finally get a win. But a little bit of a. I said I was going to talk about it. Should the Bruins have caught up Fabian Lysell? Yes. I saw. Yes. So yesterday I went to the Providence Bruins game, where it was during Comic-Con. I have never been to Comic-Con. I part of me wants to. I'm not good at constructing cosplays. The only thing I'm good at cosplaying is an early 20s burnout trans girl, because that is what I am. Lysell yesterday in the game against the Hartford Wolfpack. He was good. He was really good. He scored a goal, had a couple of assists. His puck possession was really, really good. I think honestly, there were a few times where he carried it a little bit too far in, and he probably should have passed, and he probably should have backchecked to the trailer. But we all mess up. We all mess up from time to time. And on the drive from my house back here in Bridgewater, my dad and I were listening to Felger and Maz, which top 10 things you should never put on in the car. All 10 are Felger and Maz. And we were listening to Felger and Maz. Someone called about Lysell, and Felger says, maybe he just sucks. Yeah, well, maybe Lysell is good, and for some reason this team just doesn't like to acknowledge it. Or maybe hold on. I think honestly the main thing, they want to make sure that he is 100% NHL ready. I think that is a bad idea. I think that's a bad idea. Because if you are waiting for a prospect to hit the exact moment, and that's not one, you're going to kill his confidence, and second of all, you're never going to be able to properly assess him, because it's like with Into the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse movie, not the second one, and both of which amazing. Across the Spider-Verse is going to win in Best Animated. Should have been nominated for Best Picture, honestly. You don't know you don't know instantly when you're going to be ready or not. It's all a leap of faith. And you need to bring players up when they're a little bit undercooked. Allow them to cook a little bit. You gotta let them cook. Look. Otherwise, you just end up with someone who you're like, come on, do something. They are doing something. You just turn your back whenever they do. So do I think that Bruins should have called up Fabian Lysell. I already answered that question. Yes. I don't think it was the worst idea to bring up Brazeau, but it is a bad idea to. But I think that it is a bad idea to continue to let Fabian Lysell be strictly in the A. You need to bring him up to the show. You need to bring him up to the show. I don't know when this season you need to bring him up. You need to bring him up at some point. You need to. Again, I don't know when that'll be, and I don't care. He needs to be up here. And that, I think, is going to be it for today. Bruins play again on Wednesday against the Oilers. Please, for the love of God, win that one. I really, really do not want to hear Oilers. I really, really do not want to see Oiler analytics. It's just pissing all over my timeline. I really, really could not handle that. But for everybody else, have a happy President's Day. And also to my Asian American audience, for if any of you exist, because I know these don't really get too much traction. I hope you have a pleasant Remembrance Day, because today is also the anniversary of Executive Order 9066, which was the executive order that Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed that officially started the internment of the Japanese in America. It should be a day that lives in infamy, but unfortunately it doesn't, because the only days that live in infamy in America are days in which bad things happen to us, not when America does bad things. I love this country. I hate this country. I love to hate this country. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.